go. First thing, head first into a Friday morning. Welcome to the beginning of the weekend. It is absolutely stellar outside. Roger Hill is saying we have some, and I love how he gets all fancy, intervals of sunshine today with some widely scattered showers and sprinkles. Maybe a rumble of thunder later today across Vermont. Temps in the upper 60s. Tonight, cloudy, rain showers steady, especially late and through the overnight. We'll get down about 50, 55. Tomorrow, Saturday, cloudy, rain showers. Rain's going to be moderate at times, says Roger. Daytime high in the upper 50s. What are you thinking right now? You're thinking of all of the things that you're not going to be able to do outside tomorrow. I say go to a movie, fgbtheaters.com. Get on, have a look at the listings. We've got them posted up already on the Aired Out page. Go see a movie. Go see a matinee. Get the kids.
Make sure that you tune into Dante on Saturday morning.
That's
before you go to FGB
Before
Theaters.
you do anything. Dante on Saturdays, Rex, I got to tell you, man, I love watching you and Dante. I absolutely love it. It is, and do you know what seriously, it's become a routine for me now. You know what I'm doing?
Absolutely.
I'm making pancakes. I'm making pancakes for Lily.
You
while
would not
watching you and
believe
Dante.
how harassed I get if we don't go live. Like, I get messages from people. He has a good fan base.
Yeah, he does.
Even though, I've just been faking it. I don't really like the kid, and I fake it.
Yeah. So where have you heard that from?
So
air it out a little bit.
Yeah, let's air it out.
We got a lot.
I guess what a lot of people don't realize is, or they forget, because there's new generations coming up. But I've lived here my entire life, generationally. I know every single person you fucking know.
Yeah.
So when you go to somebody's house and you want to straight talk shit about me and say I'm a piece of shit and that I'm a fake, that what else? I'm trying to think of everything that they had to say about me. And then walk into my gym, not my gym, Lucas's gym, but walk into the gym. Hey, buddy. No, you don't have to fake it. I get people don't like me. I don't try to get everybody to like me. That's not my purpose in life. But don't fake it. Don't pretend to be my buddy. I get that your wife doesn't like me, and I don't care. Didn't get along with your wife anyway. But for you to come in there and smile and talk about, talk good things with me, but then turn around behind my back and talk shit and think that I don't know about it. Well, I'm sure once they get onto Facebook, and because there's going to be a few people wondering if it's them, because there's enough people that talk shit. But there's going to be that they're all going to go on there, and that person that I'm talking about right now is going to realize that we're not friends on Facebook anymore, and I don't think they know that yet. But I'm not a fake person. We're not going to. If you don't like me, cool, man. That's cool. Don't be a shitbag and just, go behind the back and act like we're buddies afterwards.
Yeah, I think
that seems to be a common theme.
Yeah.
Growing up here in Barrie, that's been a thing. Like, people that you feel have clout and you don't want to say anything because you're afraid that it's going to go negatively on you. Yeah. So you smile at them, and then every chance you get, you talk shit.
Do you know how much that has happened to me?
Absolutely, and I'll tell you why it happens to you, because you mix business and personal together. You assume people that are in business with you are loyal to you, and they are not. My customers smile at me. I love my customers. My customers are great, but I am under the understanding that if a better price comes along, there's very little loyalty. Business is business is business. So my friendships are different. I do not like... My friendships are different. I'm very loyal to my friends. I don't fake it. If I don't like you, I tell you I don't like you, and I don't pretend. I'm not going to show up at your funeral and cry and tell everybody how we were best friends. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to you while we're alive, and I'm just not. I'm just not fake. And it doesn't matter that you don't like me. I'm not going to beat you up because you don't like me. I don't care. I really don't. Just don't pretend that you do, and then.
Ooh. and that's where it's dirty. When you pretend that you do. Yeah.
Right.
I know.
You know who you are. You've sent me messages. Hey, buddy. You know exactly who the fuck you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Rex.
Yeah.
Happy Friday, buddy. Come
Yeah,
on,
so
come on,
that-
let's lighten up here, buddy.
Right. Well, that's
It's
gonna get me-
Friday.
I mean, that's going to get me to my story because I don't beat people up for petty reasons. I used to. I used to be a piece of shit like that. I really would. I would fight on the drop of a dime.
I am not surprised to hear that at all. But I want to just start out this. I want to start out this morning on a positive note here.
Yeah, I'm super positive today.
And we're gonna get to this story, and you're gonna air it out. And listen, I know that you are a guy who you and I are similar in some ways. One of the ways that we are is when we have something in our heads, we let it
call each other 10, 20 times till we answer, and because we have to get it out there before we forget.
Yes.
There's that.
There's that. But the other thing is like we need to get it off our chest. We need to purge. We need to verbalize and vocalize what we're thinking.
And that's the thing, is because I got that message and they're like, I don't know what you did to these people, but the shit that they're saying about you, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And so I got ready. I was sending him a message and I typed it out probably 10 times. And then finally I was like, you know what? I don't care.
Right.
I don't, you know what? You don't like me. I don't like you now.
Yeah.
So let's just, I'm going to unfriend you and I'm not going to waste any more fucking energy on that.
Yeah. Energy.
But I do.
Or
sometimes,
mental capacity.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll type shit out and I'll be like, Taylor, look at this first. Because I used to just like not have it filtered. And she keeps me. She's like, Dad, it ain't worth it. Don't. All right. I won't. I won't say nothing to him then.
I have cut some ties, and even just recently. And it is so liberating.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Dude,
I have customers.
You know, hindsight's 20/20, brother.
Right.
And sometimes it's like you get this feeling, and you look back and you're like, wow, I am so glad that I didn't get any more tangled up in that than I already was.
You notice those people are like, and it's usually like somebody that you give deals to, or you've done something for free, or something like that, and then it's all of a sudden you owe them. It's all it's weird. Like, I was sick with COVID and I had a customer send me a message and said, I need this, 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 and this. And I said, hey, I'm really sorry. I am sick. I had COVID. I was 103 fever. I lost 14 pounds in 4 days.
Yeah.
I felt horrible. And I tried to explain it. And her response was, that's not my fucking problem. Wow. Yep. So
right there, boom.
Yeah. I was like, you know what's not my problem today either?
Jesus.
Your problems. That bothered me. That but customers do that. They try to talk to me like that all the time, and you'll lose your contractor, because I'm not hurting. I would live in a box before I'd let somebody talk to me like that.
Sure. I had someone approach me at Lily's softball game not long ago, and I'm not going to tell you who it is. You'll find out someday. But it's a guy, and I'm sitting there in my chair watching Lily swatting at the black flies, and this guy comes up behind me, and he comes down and he whispers into my ear. I swear to God, whispers into my ear, you know what I love about you and Rex on Fridays? And I was like, and he goes, it's a therapy session.
Come on.
He's right.
I don't know who'd hire me as a therapist.
No. It's your therapy. It's my therapy. It's
100%.
It's relatability. I mean, who can't relate to what you were just saying?
Right.
That's one of my R's, man.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
relatability. You know, I want to start out this morning by thanking our veterans, not just this past Monday on Veterans Day.
You mean Memorial Day? Don't get veterans.
I'm sorry.
Do not get Veterans Day.
Memorial
Day.
Memorial Day. Not just
Memorial Day is a lot different.
You know, we take this one day and we make it all about veterans, and I think we should be thanking our veterans every day.
You should be at the cemetery, up at the cemetery, and what you do is you put a penny if you've never. That means you visited their grave. That's what that penny means. A nickel means that you went to boot camp with that person. A quarter means that you served with them. You were most likely with them when they died.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the change means on the headstones at a veteran cemetery.
Did not know that.
Yep.
Well,
so that's what you should be doing, is looking for, on Memorial Day, it's not about hot dogs, hamburgers, and beer. It's about getting up to the veteran cemetery, making sure that every veteran that is inside of that cemetery is memorialized. A lot of them guys don't have anybody to bring them flowers and stuff like that. So that's what we do on Memorial Day. We go around all the cemeteries.
Well, today's going to be a very big and important day here in the Granite City. The Barrie Area Veterans Council is hosting their annual Memorial Day parade and ceremony at City Hall Park. The parade starts at 10:30 this morning. It starts. We start lining up at the Barrie Auditorium. Anyone that's a veteran from any war, active duty or otherwise, it doesn't matter. If you are a veteran, if you've been in the military, please show up and walk in this parade this morning. You don't have to be in uniform. You don't have to be dressed up. Just be there and be part of this parade. It is going to finish. It starts at 10:30, finishes at 11 o'clock, right at the Youth Triumphant, right here in City Hall Park, where they're going to have a ceremony. Ron Tallman, the VFW, Post 790, the Barrie Area Veterans Council, Chuck Barney, everyone, the mayor, the city manager, everyone's going to be there, some keynote speakers, and we're going to...
I didn't even know about that till just now.
That's why we're doing this. And the band, look at the high schools. There's going to be so many schools that are there, marching bands and performing national anthem. And
I used to do them, man. Did you know I play the saxophone? 100%. Played it since I was a little kid. I tried out and made the Army band when I was 16 years old. So then I joined the infantry just to put the screws right to my dad. I showed him.
Do you still have your saxophone?
I do.
I would pay you money, along with many other people that are listening right now, if you would bring that in sometime and play something on the saxophone.
I want to dress up as the super sexy sax guy and play Careless Whisper in the malls.
That's a soundbite right there. Wow. I also want to say that the Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice has their Memorial Golf Tournament that is coming up. It is officially full. They're at capacity. It is going to be another huge success. They're looking forward to all of the participants that are going to be there at the Country Club of Barrie 1 week from today, Friday, June 6th. If you want to get involved, there's many opportunities for you. They have a silent auction that is huge right now. And it's on the Air It Out Facebook page. If you want to get on and check it out, have a look. And, get in on some great stuff. Big silent auction. And they're going to be joining me on the air soon to talk about it. Let's see. Birthdays today. We have a few. Hannah Cannon. Do you know Hannah Cannon? She's great.
I don't.
Great lady. Joe Audette. If there's
I know Joe.
Yeah, if there's anyone you want to crap on, just go right ahead.
I know another Audette. I think his boy used to. Didn't they move to Florida or something? But his boy, little Audette, he used to train with us.
Jane Frost. Jason Corliss.
I know Jack Frost.
If you want to wish Jason Corliss a happy birthday today, you should. Christy Brown. Michelle Hebert.
Oh, yes. We love Michelle.
She's on the birthday list today. How old is she?
No way.
Yeah.
She's younger than I am. I know Michelle and
She's
Kevin.
lost a lot of weight.
No.
She looks good.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Michelle and Kevin, they've come so far. They're like,
Yeah.
so just from their startings in life and stuff like that, they're super proud. That you want to see. I don't know if you've ever had Michelle and Kevin on, but that is
Michelle's been on. the
that's
air
a
with me.
huge success story. I don't know if they ever talk about that, but just from both of them working when they were young, had little kids, bought their first house. Kevin did most of the work himself so they could build sweat equity, and that's what started it.
Yeah.
Me and her both bought the Carlton Sheets programs about
Wow.
flipping houses and stuff. I think she still has her Carlton Sheets, but yeah, they've come a long, long ways. They've built a really good empire in one generation. So that's super impressive.
Yeah.
You don't usually make that kind of money in one generation.
No,
so
I know.
that's
hard,
pretty odd.
hard-working lady.
Yeah, 100%.
Louise Peak, Gary
Oh,
Gome.
Louise. No way. I haven't
Do you
seen
know her?
Louise in years. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you bullshitting me?
No.
You know Louise Peak?
Yeah.
Okay. Gary Combs
I
And-
like Gary Brush.
and Danielle Flood Morning.
Oh, Danielle Flood. I know her too.
Yeah.
I know all the Floods because I'm related to them. My aunt was a Flood and
Okay.
then married a Du Bois. See, so all those people talking shit, if you're in with a Du Bois, a Sanborn, a Smith, you're probably talking to one of my fucking relatives, idiots.
Yeah. Wow. There you go. You never, God, you never know.
We're inbreded everywhere around here.
Yeah. Well,
Small town.
I also, before I get lost and tangled up with you, Rex, I also want to mention that, and I'm so excited that I'm going to be part of this. Peer Palooza is coming to the Barrie Auditorium. Washington County Mental Health is putting this on.
Nice.
It is going to be huge. Workshops, TEDx-style events, keynote speakers, poster presentations, art displays. I'll be there streaming it live. It is Thursday, June 5th, and Friday, June 6th. That's less than a week away. It starts at 9 in the morning, Barrie Auditorium. It's going to be great. They're looking for a few more registrations. So if you'd like to sign up, just get on Washington County Mental Health and sign up, especially if you want to present or display some artwork. So it's going to be great. I can't wait to be part of it. Central Vermont Cars and Coffee has their next car show coming up on Sunday, June 8th. Of course, this is at Aspen Dental, the parking lot right there in Berlin. It's from 9 till noon. Hoping to get the new carburetor in my truck dialed in and tuned up just right so
Do
that
they
I can
still
be there.
make carburetors these days?
Well, for my 76, they do. Yeah, it's huge. It's beautiful. I've never thought that I would say
Is it
a carburetor's
four
beautiful.
barrel?
No, two barrel. It's
Two barrel.
Yeah, 76 Ford F100. I love it.
Nice.
3 on the tree. Manual
I had
brakes.
the old what was it? an
You haven't seen
82
my
straight
truck?
6 300.
Yeah,
Of
straight
course I
six,
did. I
straight
had a
6 300.
4-speed straight 6 300.
That's what
Drove it.
mine is.
Oh, I drove it every day to Burlington to go up there and frame all the time.
Have you seen my truck?
Of course I have.
Have you driven it?
No.
Yeah, you got to do that, buddy.
No, you don't let me drive your truck or your wife. Bullshit. Oops. Sorry, we're not supposed to say that stuff on air.
I can't believe you said that. All right.
Don't worry, I don't want him to drive my motorcycle either.
Yeah. You wouldn't let me ride your motorcycle?
No. You couldn't touch.
Really?
You'd fall over at the fucking stoplight. Oh, sorry. I'm trying. So for those of you, I am absolutely trying to reel in my swearing. I swear too much. I swear like a sailor, and I got to stop. So this is my own trying.
We have a quarter jar here. We have a money jar.
Yeah.
It's right by your foot, by the way.
I
It's
keep
underneath
filling
the couch.
that thing up.
And I would like to, so far, there's probably $15-20 in there. I would
Yeah.
like to donate that somewhere to someone, some kid. I'm serious.
Right?
You know, let's find something. I mean, it could be a charity, but I'd like to find some kid who needs a new bicycle or something. Or
Right.
and
That would
say,
be super cool.
You have this new bicycle. because Rex Thompson has a potty mouth.
Yeah.
Let's do good with it,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
Yep. So
you have a story this morning that's let's can we set this up the right way?
yeah.
Let's set it up.
You're talking about my post.
Yes,
Okay.
because
I
your
thought that was
post
something to-
your
something
post
good to
this
talk
morning
about.
your post this morning when I read it I was like,
Oh, jeez. He called me up, a nervous Nelly. You can't talk about vigilantism. You can't
never
beat
said
people
that.
up like this. We have a brand we have to
I'll
protect.
bitch slap you right now. I never said that.
He was crying, literally. Rex,
Do you want me to bitch
please.
slap you right? I'm bitch slap you right now.
Athena, protect me.
Yeah,
That's all I need.
like that little rat's gonna protect you.
That's all I need for protection against you.
How sharp are the teeth?
They're pretty sharp. Both
Are
sets
they?
of them. She has sharp teeth.
All right, so I love Josh's comment. Hey kid, get a new bike with my fucking swear jar. My God.
I got to give a shout out before we start. I got to give a shout out to Kidder's Interior. Sorry I wasn't here last week. Had COVID. It was just nasty. I'm also looking for a presenting sponsor for my Saturdays with Dante. If you would like to sponsor that show, hit up JD Green, hit up me, and we will put you in as the presenting sponsor every Saturday morning.
Are you aware of how many people tune in and watch you and Dante on
I
a
have no
Saturday
clue. I don't
morning?
have access to those kind of stats.
I thought you had all my passwords.
I got to go see Sherilyn again.
What are you doing to Sherilyn, which is making her give you my passwords?
Do you want it in detail? Do you want a broad analysis of what I do to her?
Wow.
It's things you don't do to her.
Dante, for folks that are not familiar with what we're talking about, Dante is a young man with autism that you have taken under your belt, and you're training over at Granite City MMA on Saturday mornings.
I love that kid to death. I really do. We've become more than just. He's my buddy.
Yeah.
It's that he doesn't have any brothers or sisters. Well, he does have a brother, but he's a lot older. But he doesn't have like that sibling to wrestle around with. So that's his man time is to come in. We get to hang out. We get to do boy things.
Sure.
Stuff
Sure.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's more than just training. It's that social aspect for him. Then on top of that, we reward him with the live. So he thinks he believes he's a movie
but
star.
it's important that people know that the live stream that you're doing on Aired Out on Saturday morning at right around 9:30.
Yep.
That is not everything that's not all of your training. You do
No.
we
do it after the training because
do the
you'll
training
get
first.
You'll get idiots like John Anderson that's saying I'm hurting him
You're not
and
supposed to say that word anymore.
oh yeah.
We've-
He's
we've
gone.
had
we buried his
We
ass.
had a funeral,
Yep.
and he's done.
But you'll get idiots, especially the more views you get. You're getting 1 million views a month. So you're always going to get somebody that comes on there and they're like, oh, well, you're hurting that kid or you're doing this. So we don't just, and for the mental stability of his mom, because she gets mad. She's super protective of her son, which
Sure.
is really understandable.
Of course.
So we don't. We
Yeah.
keep it fun.
Yeah.
We reward him at the end. It's never. We don't pre-record. We don't go over. Everything is on the fly. I never know what he's going to say.
Right,
what
and
he's
his
gonna
father
do.
is right there, often,
100%.
sometimes on camera, sometimes off camera. But at the end, as a reward to Dante, because he thinks he's on TV,
Yes.
showing this, it's fun for him. But you also, Dante has, as often with folks with autism, has some body movements that are, sometimes
Skimming.
Yeah, skimming, but sometimes he'll kind of react like this, and
That's overstimulation. They call it stimming. If I start touching him too much, he starts getting overstimulated. It makes his skin crawl. He doesn't like it. He can when he gets super happy, he'll start flapping his wings, flapping his arms. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's his happy, because that's how he communicates. He doesn't communicate like me and you.
Sure.
Everything in life is about communication.
Yeah. Right.
And how we communicate with each other.
Sure. Saturday mornings, 9:30. Tune in. Watch.
Yeah, and if you would like to be the presenting sponsor for the Dante and Rex show on Saturdays, just hit up JD.
My God, there's so many people that watch that.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm just seeing here, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the news that I would love to talk with you about. But I'm just seeing here, and listen, I know we're all over the road. I understand that. We got the fire department going by right now on this Friday morning. I'm just seeing here that climbing season for Mount Everest, and it ends this weekend. We've got 468 people from 57 countries that have received permits from Nepal to ascend Mount Everest. 468.
So you want to hear a funny story about some Vermonters in Everest?
I submitted my permit. I submitted my permit, and it was declined. So I was hoping to go this weekend.
So for those of you that don't know, the Vermont National Guard has a mountain unit in Jericho.
Yes.
And they have a mountain school, the mountaineering school up
Yeah,
there.
they train all the time in Smugs.
Yes, they do. Well, that's the actual. Okay, yes, they have that, but they also lead the U.S. triathlon team. The Olympic Training Center is also in Jericho. But there was when I was back in the day, they had a group that went to Mount Everest, and it included a bunch of National Guard guys. And there was a big accident that something happened up there, and most of the people got killed except for the people at the National Guard. It was their training and stuff.
Wow.
From that mountaineering school that saved their life.
Wow.
That was years ago.
Everest is the world's tallest mountain. It's 780 feet taller than K2.
Yep.
29,032 feet. Amazing. Did you see that guy from I can't remember where he's from. It was maybe Britain. That did like all of these like marathons, like one marathon after another, and like triathlons and marathons and blah blah blah, like bang bang bang, one right after another, and ended it with a summit to the top of Mount Everest.
Nice.
All in like 18 days or some shit like that. I'm like, I'm exhausted mowing my freaking lawn, dude.
Right?
God.
Yeah.
The annual death toll for climbing Everest. I don't know.
Bodies up there. There's always bodies up. They can't.
Oh my God.
They can't recover them. So.
Let me see if I can find out. It is annual death toll is between 5 and 10 climbers. Annual. Yeah, 2023 they had 18 deaths. But anyway.
Wow.
So it's this weekend, Rex. So if you want to get up there, you need to get up there before Sunday if you want to do the climb.
Yep.
Can you get that in your schedule?
It's gonna be a tight one.
Okay.
All right.
Friday. So what's this story?
The story. Okay, let's get back. So, I'm not.
Hold on. Let me take my amlodipine. Where is it?
Your what?
My blood pressure medication.
Perfect.
Where is it?
So back in the day, I used to be out of hand. I drank a lot. I fought a lot. I was dealing with a lot of stuff myself internally.
Okay.
Between
you're airing out.
So between what I had go on, I was abused. I was molested as a kid. Went into the military. It just throughout my life, I never was shown how to deal with trauma properly.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that I dealt with it was drinking, drugs, fighting, stuff like that. So if we were at the bar, I could be, and anybody that knows me from back then, I could be a happy-go-lucky guy, and then all of a sudden I would be like, "Oh, you're looking at me like wrong. you said that maliciously. Now we're fighting. And I would, and there was a lot of fights that I regretted, and karma caught up to me. I lost as many fights as I was in, It always seemed like I would get into a fight, I'd beat somebody up really bad, and it wasn't long after that somebody bigger than me came along. I picked a fight with them, and they would beat me up. So, because I was never afraid to throw down. I can't say I wasn't afraid. I was more afraid of losing face than losing a fight. I was more afraid of being called a coward than having my face busted all up.
Boy, you're getting serious this morning.
So I have a lot of regrets.
Look at the transparency here with what you're saying. Jesus.
I have a lot of regrets in some of the people that I beat up. They didn't deserve it. I hurt them. And however I justified it, I know in my heart of hearts was not a justification to hurt some of the people that I hurt. So, let me get her down real quick. Okay. So, lo and behold, I do have one fight, and it was probably the worst that I ever hurt somebody, and to this day, I have zero regrets over it. And I'll explain why. So, I was just fresh out of the Army. I was living here in Barrie, jumping around, living with friends. I think I was living with my grandmother probably at the time. I was. So my aunt came to me and she's like, hey, my little cousins, they had a rough life growing up too. And she's like, your little cousin this guy is dating her. And I was like, what? She was like 15 years old. And this guy was 27, 28 years old. And she's like, there's nothing I can do. I said, I'll fucking do something about it. And so I was trying to find out who the guy was. And so I found out through the grapevine. They're like, yeah, he's a big dude. I was probably 23 at the time. So he was probably about 4 or 5 years older than me. And he was a black belt. He had fighting experience. I was like, fuck. But I won't back down from a fight. I don't care what you know. We're gonna test it out. And so I remember I saw him. I told my aunt, I said, I'll talk to him. And so I met him over here at KeyBank. I saw her and him, and I pulled into my car and I got out. This is when I was dating my wife. We weren't even married at the time. So this was over 28 years ago. And so we pull in and I see him. He's sitting in the car and he's got all of his buddies around and he's sitting in the car with my 15-year-old cousin. And I walked up and I was like, yo, you fucking snapper. So for those of you that don't know, if you've ever been to jail, if you've never been to jail, that's what you call a guy a pedophile. Somebody that goes after young kids is snappers. Well, I have a place in my heart for snappers, a special place for them. And so
I think many do.
So I let him know. I told him, I was like, you're going to stop dating her. You're going to stay away from her. And he started reaching in between his seats, and I said, I already know what you got there, my guy. I said, you got a stun gun. And a little stupid smirk comes out of his face. And I said, and you're probably going to try to stun me with that. But I said, but what you don't know is I carry a real gun. And if you stun me with that, I'm going to feel like I need to defend myself, and I'm going to shoot you in your face. That's how violent I was. I was a violent person. I came from a violent background all the way up through growing up and the military, everything. Everything in my life has been around violence and trauma.
Just craft your words carefully, because literally, and I'm not joking here, YouTube and Facebook will either shut me down or penalize.
100%. So that's why I'm trying to just do a roundabout about this story. So
the AI robots are listening.
Says we disperse, and I think like he's not going to hang out with her anymore. Well, a day or two later, he showed up at my grandmother's house, had a car full of people. And anybody that grew up around, it's funny because I was talking to the little old lady yesterday. Anybody that grew up around Barrie was a bad place back in the day. It really was. So, and this was not an uncommon occurrence. So a carload of people show up. They're looking for me. They're going to beat me up now. they're trying to catch me and beat me up. So I come home. My little brother is scared to death. He tries running them all over because he doesn't know how to get rid of them. So he tries running them over because we didn't call the police. That's something we didn't do. We just handled stuff. So I get home from work. I'd been roofing all day long. I'm tired. It's a Friday. My grandmother's freaking out. My brother's freaking out. There was all these people here. They're looking for you. I said, fine. I said, you don't have to look far. I'll go find them myself. So I drove around. I couldn't find them. Well, it's a Friday night. Me and my wife, we're going out. I'm with Jessica Bowser. I got Jason Cottonor, who's never been in a fight in his life. I'm at Gusto's. I'm making all my rounds at the bars. And I run into a couple of this guy's friends, and they're like, you better watch out. That guy's a bad dude. He'll beat you up bad. I was like, well, whatever, man. I said, I've already made my bed. Now I have to lie in it. I've already. Mm-hmm. So I refuse to run from people. I will confront you. I don't care. I refuse to live scared or run in my own town. So I'm leaving Gusto's. We're driving down through here, and we get to Key Bank, and there they all are. That guy's standing in the middle. They're all standing around. They're joking. And I pulled the car over. I had Jessica Bowser with me, her friend, and Jay, and my wife. I got out of the car. I walked up to him, and I said, I told you. And I said, now you threaten my grandmother. Now I'm like, I'm nervous, I'm scared, and I'm angry. So
just take
yeah,
a deep breath,
no. I was really, he threatened my grandmother. He's what I consider a snapper. He's taking advantage of a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
You're hanging out with 15-year-olds at almost 30. Mm-hmm. So now we have a problem because I know where this leads to. I know what happens when you get little girls and little kids, you scumbag. I was one of them little kids before. So all of this is going through my head. And
there's also people listening right now that are thinking, Rex, did you call the authorities?
I think I mentioned that earlier. I don't call the authorities. I don't waste their time.
But you're also not necessarily promoting vigilantism.
Oh yeah, no. No, there's always consequences. If you're going to do dumb shit, there's people out there that don't care about consequences. There is consequences for my actions. There's always consequences for my actions, and I'm willing to accept those consequences. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm actually scared of this guy. He's probably 6 inches taller than me. And I remember I reached up to take his glasses off because I told him, I was like, I'm going to have to pay for some hospital bills, but I don't want to have to pay for your glasses. And I went to reach up and pull his glasses off, and he slapped my hand. As soon as he did that, I lit him up with a combination. Bang, 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 bang. And I hit him with everything I had as fast and as hard as I could because of how scared I was. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, he can't fight. All of a sudden, once he got punched in the face, everything that he knew, he all of a sudden didn't know. He turned into every other person I ever punched in the street. He's down there like, oh my God, doesn't know where he's at. So now I'm just teeing off. Every chance I get, I can see a little piece of his face. I'm teeing off on him. That's when I remembered. I was like, oh, and you're a ninja. And I stepped back and I started kicking him in the face. I was wearing cowboy boots at the time, and I kicked him right in the lips. I think I kicked him 2 or 3 times before I heard my wife screaming. And I turned around. My wife was wearing a white sweater, and it was covered in blood. So now I think somebody from the group hit my wife. Now everybody's getting it. And she's like, no, calm down. You're killing him. I was like, nobody hit you? She's like, no, you're killing him. And I see them. They're like trying to help this guy up. And I want to keep going after him. This is the only time like I didn't want to stop hurting somebody. I was like, no.
Wow.
I don't want to stop. And my wife's like, no, you have to go. You can't do this. So most of the time, like when I've been in fights, even when I'm angry, I can stop myself from really hurting somebody. I've had a guy's face pinned right to the ground, and I had my arm up in the air ready to just drive him in the face, and I didn't. That was the only time that really bothered me.
Pedophiles it's a whole, I don't know, man. There's a reason why.
I ever tell you that I ran into the guy that molested me into a bar?
I don't know if I want to hear that one.
Dude, I couldn't do nothing about it. He's mentally not there.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's a reason why pedophiles don't do well in prison.
they do now, though, because they keep
it's a
them
different-
segregated. They keep them segregated. They cannot be around lifers. They do not put them around lifers. If you are in jail and you touch a pedophile, it's an automatic hate crime, and you're going to add 5 to 10 years to your sentence. So they will not touch them. They're not allowed in general population. They're protected. They're more protected in jail than they are on the outside. Because they're vulnerable adults.
It didn't used to be that way.
Yeah, they're vulnerable adults. Have you ever seen most of the snappers around?
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. They're
Wow.
mentally unstable. Most of them are just not right in the head. Well, all of them are not right in the head if you're touching kids.
Wow, man.
So I no longer do that. I don't. I try to avoid fights at all costs. If you push me to fight, I will walk away from a fight every chance I get. I will 100% walk away. You can say whatever you want, but if you try to harm me, my family, put your hands on me, or make me feel threatened, then of course I would defend myself. But words are not going to get me to defend myself these days.
Yeah.
So that's why I do this in the gym now. And it's so much more fun to fight people that know how to fight. I mean, it's exciting to get into a fight. You have that adrenaline rushing and everything else until you punch somebody, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore," or I guess I wasn't as bad as I thought I was, but they don't throw punches back, and it's just no fun to beat people up like that.
But let's also say this. And as you have posted, as you have said, having all of the skill and knowledge on how to fight, how to protect yourself.
I'm more in defense mode now. I'm not in fight mode anymore.
Yeah. But you've said this before, that your ego has gotten in the way, and sometimes that can be literally the most dangerous thing that you're walking
100%.
around with.
Your ego is always
The most dangerous thing.
the most dangerous. 100%. Your ego gets you into shit that you shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
You know, your ego from training. Just think about it. You're sitting there, and then it happened to me one night. I had 3 guys out behind Gusto's pull knives on me.
Yeah, I remember this.
My ego, my training, my training, my ego, I was like, oh my God, I get to take these knives away and kill these motherfuckers. This is great. And so that right there, my ego almost got me stabbed. I was willing to take a couple stick-ins just to do my own stick-in.
What'd you do?
Guns were pulled. They ended up leaving. I didn't go anywhere. I was ready to fight. I'm always, and if somebody pulls a weapon, I turn into a different person. It's a completely different mode. It's a kill mode. It's no longer a defense mode. No, it's different. I turn into it. I just turn in. I've been shot at before. I've had people try to stab me before. That's like, well, talking about USAID. Remember we were talking about USAID there.
Yes.
The funding for USAID.
Yes.
And how hard it is to put a price tag on that. And I'll tell you why. Because so back in the 90s when we had Janet Reno and Bill Clinton, we decided that embedded special operations soldiers cost too much money. It was easier to send pallets of money to Central America or whatever country you were in and buy intelligence. Okay? It's really not that great of intelligence, I'll tell you. Because that bought an intelligence, we were sitting there, and the FMLN from El Salvador marched right down the main street in El Salvador, and we had zero intelligence that it was even happening. That's how bought an intelligence. It's like the weapons of mass destruction.
Sure.
Our special forces soldiers told you they're like, we're embedded here. There is no weapons here. And they said, nah, we bought some intelligence and it says it is. So we're not going to say we do. But I'll tell you how important that kind of intelligence is. Every Friday night when I was in Central America, before I would go out drinking, They would tell you not to give the kids money down there because what they would do is they'd buy rubber cement and they would huff glue and they would walk around like zombies down there.
Yeah.
So every Friday before when they opened up the post or if I had a pass, before I would go downtown, I would gather up as many street kids that wanted and I would take them out to dinner. It cost me 25 cents or less. And there was 2 huge burritos. They were like the size of that cup right there. You got 2 burritos. You got some refried
What
beans.
country is this in again?
That was Comayagua, Honduras.
Okay.
Okay. So they were just starting to become civilized. They were trying to get out of post-war. There was a lot of still factions going on. We were still getting grenaded. They would lob grenades into clubs and stuff like that. They'd still shoot at you. But they were trying. So we were trying to make nice with the people. At least, I was, because we had another guy there, Sergeant Dogbite. First night, we called him Dogbite. He got so drunk, he passed out next to a fence. A dog took out a chunk of his shoulder. He was a complete dick to them kids, the street kids down there. His life was a nightmare the entire time he was there. Every time he went off post, he was getting robbed, everything else. So I used to take the kids. I would get them something to eat, and I would feed them. They knew my name. When I went, hey, Rex, hey, the little street kids knew who I was. I'd give them chocolate if I had something. If I had a couple dollars, and I wouldn't fuck with them, okay? Mm-hmm. So, lo and behold, fast forward, I'm almost out of there. Things are starting to open up a lot more. I got into it with a street kid. I didn't even know who he was. He was super aggressive. He was really high, and I remember he was just like really aggressive, and I ended up, I slapped him. I was like, get the fuck away from me. Well, later on that night, I was leaving the club, or we call them clubs. They're not really clubs, but I was leaving, and I hear this kid like screaming my name, and I turn around, and that kid I had slapped was standing there. He was getting ready to stab me. As I came out, he waited for me. He was like, fuck you. And that little kid that I fed every Friday night saved my life. So that's how I compare that to USAID. What it cost me money every Friday night to bring them little kids out. And the whole scope of things, it might have cost me $1.50 every Friday night. And the whole scope of things, what we pay to USAID is basically the same. So did that $1.50 affect me? No. Did it save my life? Absolutely. What is that worth? What is that intelligence worth? USAID goes into these countries that are so poor. They have these people like the Taliban or something sitting there telling them that American people are scumbags. If you let them in here, they're going to kill you. We saw this during World War II in Japan.
Still saying that.
Right. You saw it in Japan when we went into what was it, Okinawa, I think. Those people jumping off the cliffs because they were told if the Americans capture you. So they don't know us.
Yeah.
The only way that they know us is through USAID. So that's how you change the hearts and minds. Instead of having to go to war and force those minds to be changed, you use diplomacy. So the USAID, when they showed up, they're like, hey, we're thirsty, we're hungry. And USAID would show up with food and water with American flags on it. So that's how I compare that. What did that cost us by losing USAID? What kind of intelligence? Because those people coming in, they're like, hey, that's where you get intelligence. The people like, hey, my buddy, they just get talking. That's how intelligence is gathered. You just sit around and listen to people talk. And so how do you get people that when people are happy because they're receiving things, they're like, oh, my God, I was starving. This water, this food's going to save my life. Oh, by the way, while I was walking down, I saw the Taliban up here doing this and that or whatever it is. They're more apt to speak to you with honey than vinegar. So who took that over? China. China moved in every place USAID was at. And now they're spreading Chinese will around the world.
It's quite a story, buddy.
Oh, wild life, man.
Speaking of China and everything that's going on,
you see they're mining in the moon since 2020. I'm dead effing serious. I didn't know it. I saw a TikTok video and I was like, oh, that's bullshit. Somebody's doing some sort of AI. And then I looked it up in the science forums. 100%. China's been up on the moon since 2020 mining helium-3 and another rare element that's only found on the Earth. We just barely have a company out of Seattle that made their own mining equipment for the moon now. We're going to be the next ones up there mining. It's on the dark side. Bet you didn't know that, did you? See all the useless information in my head?
Too much information running through my head. U.S. Appeals Court temporarily reinstated the Trump administration's reciprocal tariffs yesterday.
You know what's so funny about this whole
While
thing?
it reviews a lower court ruling blocking the new import levies.
The funny thing about this,
Buddy, this is changing by the hour.
Yeah.
This is crazy shit that's happening.
so what they do is they put out all this illegal shit, like all these illegal executive orders, knowing that they're illegal. They know it. They know they're going to get blocked. They know that they don't fucking work. But it's a dog and pony show. Really simple, because all they do is they go, oh, the judges blocked all our tariffs. If it wasn't for them, this would have been perfect. We would have made so much money. You lying sacks of shit. The politician is a politician is a politician. I don't care what side you're on. If you believe one side over the other, there's your problem.
The federal court decision is now stayed through June 9th. Through June 9th. So there you have it. Yeah,
and what is this doing? What is it doing?
You're right, though. A politician is a politician is a politician.
100%.
Do you know, I have been listening to the court proceedings on YouTube from 1993.
Now we're talking, baby.
And I've been listening listening carefully and going back and re-listening to the court proceedings of Sammy the Bull Gravano.
Rat.
And everything
that guy should have been put to death.
That transpired with the mob and his story and the mob bosses and all of this. How he became
it's funny. You live by the mother effing sword, but you're not willing to die by that sword.
Mm.
He was one of the worst. He did everything. He was such a fucking sick human being, and they let him off to get the other people. That's how effed up our system is.
In the court proceedings in 90, I'm pretty sure it's 93. You should hear how many times he talks about his deals that he was involved with.
I have no respect for that guy.
With Donald Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Donald's been working with the Russian mob. What do you think started the first initial investigation into him? They've been working with the Russian mob. That's where he gets a lot of his financing. He was selling them penthouse suites in the Trump Tower in New York for cash money.
Unreal.
I don't know how people don't know about that. That's like, I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable.
What about, remember the whole thing they were talking about that Hunter Biden got the peddling influence for $5 million? And then we just peddled influence at Mar-a-Lago for $1 million a plate.
Yeah.
Get exclusive.
Yeah,
we'll
right.
get you a pardon. Like you can buy
God.
pardons now. You can buy pardons. You can buy, and they're doing it right out in the open. And Mike Johnson's response was, well, he's not doing it behind closed doors. Oh, well, Jesus, that's like a shoplifter waving at the camera on the way out. You're absolutely right. He waved, so it's not illegal. He did it in the open.
Listen, man.
Crazy.
The next time you're sitting in the hot tub,
yeah,
and you can see on your monitor right there. You gotta listen to this.
That he fought for, and there really was no money involved.
Matter of fact, I was in Central America.
There's no way he could have paid 5,000
We were
or better.
chasing Pablo Escobar at the
For
time.
backed up money, which came to hundreds. And I believed Jojo was telling the truth. And this is what I told John.
Now, you stated in your opening testimony that you were released by the Colombo
If you're gonna be
family
dumb,
to
you
the
gotta be dumb.
Gambino.
You should hear what he's saying about his dealings with Trump. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my
did the same thing with Steven
Jesus.
Seagal. They were financing Steven Seagal's movies and taking all of his money. They punked him out too.
I mean, I was only 23 when all this was going down. I wasn't paying attention to this, but I am now.
Right.
It's just fascinating stuff, man.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And the younger generation knows nothing about that.
And the
stuff that went on.
Czechoslovakian mob that he was involved with. You hear the story about when he lost the Plaza Suite and everything? Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, man.
I don't know about fascinating.
I
but-
think it's fascinating. I do. My
Yeah.
God. I mean, it's just amazing. You know, and we think that all the scandalous stuff is going on now. No, it was going on back then too,
yeah,
man.
absolutely, 100%.
Oh my God. Well, listen, the parade's going to start in about 30 minutes.
Perfect.
I'm going to get ready for that. And I went over to the VFW the other day, sat down with Ron, and I was like, why is the Memorial Day parade on the 30th? And he said, because that's the true Memorial Day.
Yes.
Not that Monday,
Right.
which they've turned into a 3-day weekend, which is all about the hamburgers and hot dogs, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is the true Memorial Day. That has frustrated a lot of Vermonters because they're at work today.
Mm-hmm.
They're at work. They're not able to attend the parade. That's why I'll be there streaming live. But I'm just saying,
I find other things to get irritated by.
when that flag passes in front of you today on North Main Street, remove your damn cap if you're wearing one. Please honor the flag. Stand at attention. Put your hand on your heart.
You only have to say that to civilians.
Well, I know that.
If you were ever a Boy Scout, Girl
I'm
Scout,
saying-
military, you already know.
I know. I'm saying there have been past times when
Hey,
I-
who's your new presenting sponsor?
I have seen people not take their hats off. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Bad hair day.
Uh,
We should talk about some more fighting because there's the biggest fight in New England coming up ever. All of the fans are waiting to see this fight. And I'm not talking about the biggest fight of Chris Peralta's fight, June 13th on UFC Fight Pass, where he's going to be wearing a T-shirt that has the aired out logo on it on live TV. On UFC Fight Pass. 100%. You'll watch us. You
Unreal,
watch
man.
it live on TV. You see Chris walking out his quarter. You'll see him
Unreal.
wearing that. But
I-
that's not the fight of the century.
okay.
That is absolutely not the fight of the century. There's an even bigger fight, and I haven't even told anybody about it yet.
You are breaking some news here this morning?
We are 100% airing it out and breaking news.
First of all, before you let go with this, who knows?
You. Oh, well, my wife knows, and she was like, it's not happening, but it is. July 25th, Chelmsford, Massachusetts. The last time I was in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, I took a beating then, too. But this time, I'm hoping not to take a beating. But most likely I will. I have decided to take a kickboxing match July 25th against Mike Souza, professional fighter Mike Souza. He
What?
fought Chris Peralta in a kickboxing match with all proceeds. If you want to see me get my ass kicked, you're going to have to donate a little bit of money to Keegan Hornstra. This is a kickboxing event. If you are a kickboxer and you want to kickbox, I will have a poster up on my wall. You can contact Adina, Alyssa, or James Johnson, Samaj, and you can get on there. But that all the money is going to go to that guy right there that's on the screen, Keegan Hornstra. So I'm going to go and try to get my teeth kicked in for a great fucking cause.
What's the story with Keegan for folks that don't
So
know?
Keegan started out right before he lost his small glove Muay Thai title at my show. He was at the weigh-ins. He was complaining. He said he thought he had something really bad going on. He fought. He got knocked out. And then the next day found out that he had testicular cancer. That was why he was having so much trouble with his weight cut and everything else. He fought it, beat it, or so they thought, and it metastasized and came back as lung cancer. So he has been down in New Hampshire fighting this. Started in Dartmouth, and he's been doing chemo, radiation. So we just did. I was just at Olympic. Rick Hahn. I was just at his gym. He's an Olympian. He's fighting on bare knuckle here in a couple weeks. We just did a benefit down there, and now they're scheduling this fight card in Chelmsford, Mass, July 25th. We're going to try to figure out how to get it to do a live stream so that people can pay to watch me get my ass kicked.
Glenn is commenting right now. I have to figure out how to get the pay-per-view for this.
We will figure it out. I don't know if it'll be pay-per-view or if it'll be free. Most likely be free.
Will you get that on the page?
100%.
Okay.
We got a little while. It's July 25th. I got to start running.
You want me to chase you?
I want to actually
You'll run
meaningful run.
You're going to run fast if I chase you, bitch. Did you listen, not to,
No, they asked me if I would fight with Mike. Mike's a great dude. I love Mike Souza.
Did you
Team
fall and hit
Link,
your head or
Edgar,
something here, buddy?
all the time. I have a lot of head injuries.
There are plenty of people, yes, that want to see you get your ass kicked.
You know who Mike Souza, the guy with the big, beautiful hair. Remember him?
Yes.
And what's his face? They fought, and both of them had beautiful hair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah.
Wow, buddy. July 25th.
July 25th, Chelmsford, Mass. Kickboxing. Should be fun.
You want to do some training with me? Some practicing with me?
I should probably do some sort of training, right? You know what I'll do? I'll train in jiu-jitsu. Get ready for this kickboxing match.
Please let us know. Would you? Please.
100%. Fight of the century.
My God.
Promoter versus professional fighter.
That's a pretty big announcement, buddy.
Yeah. It's just an ass whooping. That's all. Well, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try. I'm not going to just lay down and get beat up by him. He knows that.
I know you're going to try.
I just hope you don't break my nose. I have a sleep apnea machine. I don't have to wear a nose protector.